Greetings and welcome, Bannerbeggars. I'm slightly nervous because today we're participating in the Oceania region's biggest Bannerlord duel tournament to date. The tourney has been organised by the Oceanic Bannerlord Community Discord, so thanks to the leadership for making this possible. And if you're an OC player and you want to participate in some big events, feel free to jump on the Discord and an admin will set you up.
Anywho,
I won't go over the full rules for the tourney. I'll put them on the screen, you can pause if you want to read them. But in summary, we have to be the Volgear troop with the medium infantry and athletic perks, and the combat is sword only, so no shields. There are 40 players in the tourney, which is structured such that the top 2 players from each of 8 5-player pools goes into a double elimination bracket. I didn't record the last duel tourney, but I think I placed second from about 30 players. I ended up getting absolutely crushed in grand finals by Kadith, who you might remember from one of my duel videos. While Kadith isn't playing today, looking at the pools now, there are a lot of really good players that have come across from Warband that weren't in the last tournament. I also lucked out against Geyson last time, so I'm not expecting to place nearly as well today as I did last time. But hopefully we'll have a good time. If I had to guess who would make it through into the final bracket, firstly, I'm playing as Whoops at the moment. But starting at A, I would say Avarthon and Dweeb are definitely going to make it through there. Dread, can't speak to a second here. Geyson, again, can't really speak to a second there. Kaywin and probably Muzz, close third from Rabbi and Tiberius. Group E, Leonidas, probably Venset second with a close third from Fig. Group F, definitely Ryland and Botane, both pretty good Warband players. Group G, Winero, Apollo there as well. Adolphus, probably close third. Group H, hopefully I'll make it through. And Avarthon will probably destroy me. He's been, he's another Warband player with probably a couple thousand hours there. And he's been absolutely cutting me out recently. Yeah, so I won't be providing much live commentary because I'll be concentrating. So the rest of the commentary will probably be from the edit. I guess we can find out together how accurate my assumptions were.
A few minutes later.
All right, Whoops, do you want to go?
Very good.
All right, so official duel.
Best of luck.
Good luck.
So going into my pool, I was pretty confident that I was going to lose to Avarthon, which meant that I was going to come second. But if there was one person that was going to prevent me from doing that, it would have been Arctanas. So we'd been warming up together, and during the warm-up I had, let's say, not necessarily played my best. There was, there's some typical fainting patterns that some people tend to not be able to defend against, and I wasn't using those, and I was being a little bit maybe more defensive than I would be usually, so that when we actually started dueling, as you can see here, I started being a little bit more aggressive and I started using some fainting patterns that I hadn't used before, that being one of them. I know that Arctanas adapts quickly, so I wanted to use a variety of feints and timing mix-ups to beat him as quickly as I could.
Damn, well played.
Good luck. So Dargon was my second opponent in pools. I don't know much about him, but we had played earlier in the day. Based on that experience with him, I found that he was kind of weak to quick feints, and he tended to show aggression when he was on the defensive. And so I just exploited those two features by timing my attacks and feinting, particularly using double feints. Got a few hits in with his aggression, but in the long term, fortunately for me, I won out.
Thanks, Mr. Whips.
Good luck. So Saturn was my third of 4 opponents in pools. I knew that if I could win this, then I could get at least second and move forward into the bracket, so the pressure was on. I've played Saturn a number of times over the past few days, so I know that he is a very competent blocker. Means that if I want to get through his defense, I'm going to have to push the envelope beyond, I guess, what would be a comfort range for me to both be offensive and defensive at the same time, which meant that I had to at least take on a bit of risk in the fight. But I also know that Saturn tends to respect the kind of standard initiative of the fight, so he's less likely to interrupt me, so that risk is relatively small. With one pool fight remaining, this meant that we'd made it into the finals bracket. Huzzah! Alright, good luck.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Didn't I say before the tourney that Avarthon had been beating my buttocks like bongos? And Avarthon will probably destroy me. And yet here he doesn't even input a block direction. As soon as I missed this overhead, I knew that Avarthon was throwing the fight. For those that want to skip story time and this fight before it turns into a hot, sweaty mess, the next fight will be timestamped in the description. So what's going on here? I quickly found out that there were a couple of last-minute entrants into the tourney, and Kadeth, the winner of the last tournament, was one of them. On top of this, the first place out of our pool was due to fight the first place out of Kadeth's pool, so by throwing his fight against me, Avarthon would come second in our pool and would then verse the second place from Group A. In an amusing twist of fate, Kadeth hasn't played Bannerlord for a few months and has gotten rusty, and ended up coming second in his pool. So Avarthon threw this game against me to avoid versing Kadeth earlier in bracket, only to end up having to verse Kadeth anyway.
Oh, sweet irony!
I don't have the footage, so I'll spoil that Avarthon actually ended up winning that game anyway, so props to Avarthon for that. But in any case, our gameplay here is frankly a joke, so I'll fast forward over it.
What the? What am I watching?
God damn it. Well played, Avarthon. So my first bracket fight was against Avatar, who has gotten a lot better recently. Unfortunately, I didn't record the first round against him, which I won pretty quickly if I remember correctly. Avatar has a fighting style that I struggle against. He has pretty good defense, good spacing, and he isn't afraid to interrupt the flow of initiative. This style can also be pretty dangerous, because with good spacing tends to come high relative velocities, which results in high damage output. You'll see on his second hit on me here, I think he does something like 95 damage, which is pretty scary considering he's got a one-handed weapon.
You makes me sick of people watching blocking. Oh, right. Oh, Geyson goes a counter kick. Both kicks missed.
Unfortunately, while I should have been playing extra carefully given his fighting style, I ended up playing right into it. If you pay attention across this match, I think I get hit 6 times in 4 games, and 5 of those hits were from pretty much the same attack pattern, so I wasn't adapting very well. After getting hit by the same pattern here, I paused to see if I could get him to press the advantage and hopefully close some of that space, but you can see he just He very quickly makes that space between us again. Continues to be a threat. When I took this hit, I was getting frustrated. Even though I had been getting outspaced consistently, I thought I had timed this particular swing well, and my movement felt muddy. This muddy feeling was immediately explained as you see the network icon pop up, indicating packet loss. Seeing this, I checked the scoreboard, and rather than checking my ping, I'm actually checking for the number of people on the server. I've noticed that for some reason the server performance on Duel servers in particular gets noticeably worse when there are about 9 players on the server, and it gets progressively worse with more players from that point. At this point there were 15 people on the server, and this made me quite nervous, because while I tended to win on average against Avatar in the past, it would only take one network error to get me killed. So rather than play things normally and potentially leave my fate to server performance, I decided to take some risks in this last fight. Avatar has a strong habit of feinting his first swing, so I took the risk and swung while he had initiative. And thankfully for me, it worked out.
Good fight, whoops.
Good fight. With that nail biter closed out, we were in the top 8. So after my fight with Avatar, I had another look at the tournament structure and realized that the finals bracket wasn't actually a proper double elimination bracket. The quarterfinals, the top 8, were accidentally made to be single elimination. This meant that I only had to lose my next match and I was out of the tournament completely. To rub salt in this wound, my quarterfinals fight was against Geyson, who you might also remember from a couple of my Duel videos. I'd say that probably more than 50% of my overall Duel time has been with Geyson, and my win rate against him is definitely worse than 1 in 5.
Unlucky!
Others may have better luck, but I find that getting through Geyson's defense is like trying to deflower Lady Mariam without the key to a chastity belt.
A chastity belt? Oh, that's going to chafe my willy.
No matter what you do, I shall never submit!
Aha!
Robin!
Prepare for the fight scene.
It's like trying to infiltrate the rock through the shower room.
It's over.
It's like, well, you get the idea. Considering the quarterfinals was first to 5, the chance of lucking out 5 times was pretty slim, so this was basically a GG. So I reminded myself,
I'm just trying to have fun.
And I ended up chatting with Geyson in Discord for the fight. So instead of commentating from the edit, I'll just let that audio run. Alright, Big G, knock me out.
That was unlucky.
I fucked up. Oh, that was unlucky. So is that. That's fucking busted. I literally kicked through. And hit through my swing. My bluff.
Fuck. That was that was fucking bullshit.
Fuck. Yeah, fair.
Fucking,
it's a
yeah.
big why not? Yeah, fair. Outplayed.
That was fucking stupid.
Oh, shit, that's rusted. That's what she said.
Ja, good far round.
Actually, fucking kidding.
Oh my god. I didn't block that. No, I did block that. I guess that balanced out.
Okay.
GG's.
GG.
So in the end, I placed tied 5th with the other players that were knocked out in the quarterfinals, Dread, Winero, and Apollo. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend and thus record the grand finals, but if I find someone that did, I'll put a link to their video in the description. Spoiler alert, I'm going to put the final tournament results on the screen now. If I had to lose to someone, I'm glad it was the guy that came first. Thank you for coming along for the ride. If you'll excuse me, I think I have something in my eye.
Will you excuse me, please?